give me that invisible stuff again.
Honest. And there were footsteps with no feet. And a grip that was unpacking itself.
All right, boys, let's go.
They're private eyes, they are. And they're tickled to death, as you may be, that their first job is a murder case. Only a man they can't see is driving them to distraction.
I said pull over to the...
A blonde is trying to booby-trap them.
My uncle is worried, too, about
the effect of the drug on my mind. Invisibility gives me a sense of power, for good or for evil.
Neither of you get a chance to tell the cops anything. Now, look, pal, let's talk this thing over. There's no...
Okay, guys, here we are. Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man, 1951. That means this is 2 years after Abbott and Costello meet the killer. Bud Abbott, Lou Costello, and a bunch of other people. Sorry, we don't have time for all this. So, here's the storyline. Tommy Nelson is accused of murdering his manager, and he really didn't do it. And it was all because he was paid off to take a dive in, like, just say the 5th round. And instead, he knocked out the guy he was boxing. So he took the money, knocked the guy out, and didn't, go through with the thing, because I guess he just didn't want to lose or whatever. So the way the mobsters pay you back for doing shit like that, in this case Morgan specifically, is he bumped off his manager, O'Hara. So now Tommy Nelson, the boxer, is being chased down by the police, because they all believe that he really did kill his manager, because Morgan pays the guy at the door, the phony cop, rent-a-cop, to say that nobody went in this room except for Tommy Nelson. So he's the one who killed the manager. So the whole thing is about Tommy trying to clear his name, and he happens to be dating a girl who's, I don't know, they're friends with this fucking doctor. I don't even know the relation, really. And he has an agent that will make you invisible. And they didn't want to give it to Tommy because that, just like if you guys watch The Invisible Man, the original, it fucks with your head and it makes you sort of go, you become a raving maniac who has just urges to kill people. And you're just really out of sorts. So that's why they didn't want to give it to him. But he says, fuck it, I got to get the fuck out of here. People are coming after me. Fuck you, I'm taking the shit. Bam, he becomes visible and comedy ensues. I mean, this movie is amazing. I mean,
right.
I was knocked on my ass. I've seen this like 15 times, but this time, man, I just absorbed everything for what they were going for, and it is brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. This thing is so incredibly well done. Everything about the invisibility stuff. I turn into a 5-year-old when I see a floating hat. You know what I mean? It's so odd. It's, I was just giddy watching this whole entire thing. True, it wasn't the Invisible Man I was hoping for before I saw this thing, but once I got into the story of this thing and what it was all about, everything to the boxing stuff and fake punches and everything, it was hysterical, dude. I love this movie to death.
Yep.
That moment with the speed bag was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Just brilliant. And they could have kept that same gag going for like 10 minutes and I still would have laughed my ass off the entire time because I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah, Jamie's referring to, the speed bag goes boom, 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 like Rocky's hitting the fucking speed bag. But obviously, the Invisible Man, the boxer, is hitting it, and Costello's pretending to hit it because the Invisible Man's idea is that, how about you fight the guy, Rocky Hanlon, who I didn't take a dive for, and then we're going to double-cross him again, and when they come to kill Bud, your manager, who's going to just be your manager because he's your only friend, we'll get them. And that's the whole thing. So now Costello has to act like he's a real boxer, and they call him Louis the Looper. And everything he does in exhibition is really Tommy doing it, but nobody could see that, and they believe it's really Costello, and everyone's buying into this bullshit. And it's just the craziest story in the world. Abbott and Costello are two detectives who graduated from detective agency, and the only reason Costello did is because Abbott slipped the guy $20.
Which is a lot of money back then.
Yeah, back then he slipped him like $2,000.
Yeah, right? Shit. That's like 800 gallons of milk right there.
So is that what you do? You judge all your money by milk?
I just started now. Yes, The Invisible Man, the original, is a hardcore, great movie, man. You guys got to watch The Invisible Man if you haven't. Claude Rains, the guy who plays Larry Talbot's father in The Wolfman, he's the Invisible Man.
Brilliant.
Man, while Larry Talbot is my favorite character in the Universal world, the Invisible Man is actually oh my God. See, I love the Creature too. God damn it. Creature from the Black Lagoon is my absolute favorite. But right behind that comes the Invisible Man because he is fucking brutal in that movie. I mean, he is straight up evil. And the body count in the Invisible Man is like 175. Something. I mean, it's crazy how many people he kills in that movie. And so that's why I love this one too. It's not like that. I mean, this is a comedy, but I love that character. I love the fact that you can take a normal guy, a nice guy, and then because you give him this serum and he goes invisible, then he just starts to have this progression into insanity and becomes just like a maniac. And you can see this happening with Tommy. I mean, he doesn't nearly get like Claude Rains does, but I mean, but you can sort of see the progression happening as the longer he stays invisible, he starts to lose his grip on reality, and it's done really well, I think. And plus the effects are pretty damned amazing.
They are.
I mean, when you see, I mean, there's the floating cigarette, but the amazing thing about the floating cigarette is that you can actually see the smoke as he exhales when he's walking down the hall. But to me, the most amazing parts is when his body is walking around still clothed and his head is gone, his hands are gone, but it's so well done. I mean, there are no seams. There's nothing.
It's absolutely seamless.
Yeah. It's amazing.
There's only one gripe I had. He's eating, and you don't see the food go inside his body.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, there are weird things, and usually you don't see the cigarette smoke fill his lungs either.
But I do love the guinea pig. They actually take the time when he's demonstrating how it works. When the professor or the scientist is demonstrating how it works, and he uses it on a guinea pig. They actually take the time to go from guinea pig. It dissolves into a little tiny guinea pig skeleton, and then it dissolves into nothing but a little harness. And then the little tiny harness is walking around, and that is brilliant.
Right. They even show veins at first. When the first stage is veins, and then it goes inward to skeleton, and then it goes invisible, which I was kind of upset after seeing that first. They did not do that to him when he turned invisible.
Me too.
They just showed his teeth, oddly enough, and it was a weird way, too. But, Jamie, actually, that shot of the guinea pig, that was taken directly from The Invisible Man Returns. That was just footage from that movie. Yeah.
Was it really? Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, and it's funny, this movie, they make a Dracula and a Frankenstein reference. He's like, it's Frankenstein. When he's looking at Tommy Nelson make the fucking phone call. And it's funny how they keep tying that shit. And they do that in the next movie, too.
And they also make a reference to the original Invisible Man as if that was like a real thing that happened.
Yep.
He references that case, like just like him, you're going to go crazy if you stay invisible.
Right.
And I love that too, that they completely acknowledge the universal world again.
Yeah. And do you guys know anything about giving people injections? There's like two things. There's only two reasons in the world that you go through the vein. One of them is heroin, and the other is like blood work. This movie, when he shoots the shit into his body, he puts it in his veins, which is very strange.
Well, you would think if you're going to affect something at a molecular level, you'd have to go through the bloodstream.
Right. It's very odd to do, though. But yeah, it's a rare way to do it.
That would get it then to pump through the entire body more quickly. Right. If you hit the bloodstream, it'll go to the heart and then be dispersed throughout. I mean, I don't even know if they put any thought into it, honestly. Like, if they even put any thought into it at all. But it kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, he rolled up his vein, though. But when he did the guinea pig, I think they just stuck it in his ass or something like that. So that was kind of weird. But what's funny, you guys talk about the cigarette bit. The funny thing is, he disappears on Costello in the room the first time he, takes the shit. And he fucking immediately lights up a cigarette and goes like, dude, you're fucking invisible. Why are you making it so they could they could basically see you again? You're running around with a cigarette. You're identified once again, bro. You just became invisible. What the fuck are you doing? and did you guys ever think of the logistics of taking your goddamn clothes off?
Oh, yeah.
Damn, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah. Such good effects.
And did you notice he wasn't wearing underwear?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right, he was free balling it.
He's walking around butt-ass naked just to become invisible. Like, that's so...
I'd do it. Shit, dude. I'd be running around outside naked. It's cold. Oh, well, nobody can see me.
Jamie's naked right now. She doesn't even like to wear clothes, remember?
Right.
That's true. It's totally... And you got it. I am. So there.
You would be the perfect invisible woman. You would, like, never have a problem with it.
And then we get more of the same gags with again, Costello sees it. Nobody else does. He can't convince anybody that the Snuffleupagus is there.
Hey, bird.
And we're back to the comedy shit, the doctor's office. Do you ever see things only when my eyes are open? It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, man, with the hypnotism.
Oh, everybody goes to sleep.
Oh,
Everybody,
yeah.
you cut away. You cut away to another shot, and then you come back to him, and you get a whole fucking room of hypnotized people, which was just hilarious. Because every time he's like, he's just trying to explain. He's like, well, he was waving this watch in front of me, and then bam, then down they go.
2 seconds after looking at a fucking spinning watch, everyone's out.
And
everybody ends up on the psychiatrist's couch, which was hilarious too. It's just like after dealing with Costello and all that bullshit, everybody ends up going back to the psychiatrist.
I saw 2 guys being driven by no guy.
How about when Costello first gets in there and he sits down at the desk of the psychiatrist and the guy and he says to Costello, he goes, "Why don't you come lay down over here?" He goes, "Why?" He goes, "Don't you believe me when I'm sitting here?" He told him.
Like, have you ever seen anybody disappear before this? Yes, my brother. It was like, oh, your brother disappeared into thin air? No, into a manhole.
See, it's corny, but it's funny. Like, Dave, do you appreciate, like, how do you feel? Because we're all sort of in tune with Abbott Costello. How do you feel when you see these fucking spectacular routines like the $500 bit where the girl gave...
Oh, my...
Yeah, Abbott $500, or Costello $500 to bring the suitcase to Tommy in the middle of the woods. He's like, wait a minute, where'd you get that $500? He's like, I'm not going to give this to you or the $500 the dame gave us. So he puts it in his pocket, and Costello's just grabbing it, taking it out, moving around, put it there and leave it there, and all that shit. Like, what do you think when you see that?
Oh, I think it's great. And, of course, like I said before, I didn't know about this type of comedy until then. You know, until I started watching these movies, and now I'm in the 3rd one, so I'm getting familiar with it. But, oh, shit, I love it. I love it. I mean, that's all I knew before this was the fucking Who's On First thing. I was turned on to that gag because of fucking Third Base, the old rap group. They used it in a freaking, one of their interludes. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? And I found out, and I said, oh, this is funny. Then I got started, and then here we go. Here's the progression of... You know, me being turned on to them, and now I'm 3 movies in. I'm like, man, this is fucking comedy gold.
Yep.
I really love it.
Amazing. I'm so glad you do. Like, watching this for the first time and stuff and, like, really connecting, that's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah, well, how could you not? I mean, it's a comedy, and I don't want to say in its simplest form, because it's not simple. It's actually, you know, quite cleverly written.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just maybe in a basic form. I don't know. It's just, it's not what it is now.
That's what it is. It's execution. It's chemistry. It's timing. And there are no 2 better people. I mean, you could study their shit now afterward, but they fucking are the pioneers. Like, you could do this now and get your timing perfect, but fuck, man, these guys, like, figured out how to do that. They're the ones. You know, that's the amazing part of all this. And it's so well done and so perfectly honed in that it works 70 years later.
Yeah, it's timeless. It's timeless. You know, I mean, you will always find something funny about a guy going to put money in his pocket. Other guy opens up his pocket, money goes into his pocket, and it's just like put it there and leave it there. I said put it there and leave it there. I mean, that shit's funny. It's just funny. Yeah, it is. So there's more insane moments, of course. With Abbott Costello, it's almost not it is still what the fuck, legitimately, but sometimes it's just wacky comedy. Like the scene where the main chief of police, they go into the hotel where the 3 of them are staying to look like high-class guys to get Boots Marsden over there and stuff like that. So the guy knocks on the door. Tommy's invisible, let's remember, when they're playing the card game. So they decide to hide him by covering him up with a sheet. How that makes any sense, I have no idea. It doesn't, because he could just stand there and the guy would never know it. And I'm like, why are you hiding him? He's hidden.
Right.
You're
hiding an invisible guy.
Right, and he's squatting, shaped like a body.
Oh yeah, and then he
detective
leans his
pulls it
elbow on
off.
him with a cup, like with a teacup, because that's going to complete the illusion right there.
And then they try to expose him, and then they see nothing.
No, they see a pile of the robe he had on. They see that, like, literally, he could have just taken his robe off when the fucking guy knocked on the door. But no, we're going to cover you up in a sheet. Then when the guy comes and says, what the fuck is that? And he pulls the sheet off, nothing will be taking up that space, and there will just be a pile of clothes on the floor, and everyone's okay with this.
That's my laundry.
That's my line. Oh, okay, I'm out of here. You guys are nuts. Aren't you curious as how the fucking laundry was 6 feet in the air? It's just crazy to me.
Right.
Then you got the funny dinner scene where like he's like, "What do you want? Spaghetti and a steak."
Oh yeah.
And a steak.
Man, and then the Invisible Man gets fucking drunk.
Yes,
He gets drunk and starts taking everybody else's drinks and then causing fights between people because they can't see that the Invisible Man took their drinks. So they're blaming Costello and then they're blaming Abbott and there's just fights all over the place. And I'm dying because this has really nothing to do with the plot of the film.
Right.
Like it doesn't even matter, but it's just so funny because they spend how many hours are they in that restaurant?
Right.
It's a whole thing.
And him being drunk, you see the first signs of like his mind frame being a little skewed. You know, he's talking about his invisible empire and how he's going to get minions to follow him and everything else.
Yeah.
Spaghetti and a steak. And then when the
Spaghetti
gets
and a
there,
steak.
fucking Invisible Man is eating his spaghetti.
Right.
Oh yeah.
The steak. It was like, yeah, and I'm like, but you're eating his. Get off my spaghetti. You ordered the steak. But like he didn't care. I mean, you could see at that point he was starting to slip because he's eating celery when the waiter is standing right there.
And then Abbott goes to balance it on his finger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What do you say? I'm a juggler or something?
I was a juggler.
Holy shit! And he's like, I'm a two-fisted drinker. What's wrong with this one?
That scene at the bar, that's a great segment. That whole situation. That's one.
Hey,
of
what are you doing with my drink? Oh, I thought it was mine. Yeah, I heard that before.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? How many times has this happened to you?
And the actual fight is fucking tremendous. When they get to all that shit. The comedy, the physical comedy of Costello is just phenomenal.
You can't top the fight, man.
No, it's incredible.
And even when he's beating the shit out of Rocky Hanlon, the way Abbott looks over at Morgan, he's like, I don't know what he's doing. You know, like, all that shit is just so funny, man. And then he's like getting panicky, wiping the sweat off his forehead because he's like, if this guy fucking knocks him out, I'm a dead man. and then they even want to still cross Tommy Nelson. Like, look, he's not even here. If he really cared, he'd be here. So just fucking go down in the third round. Hey, I'm right here. Oh, so sorry, Tommy.
Abbott was kind of a bastard, though, the way he kept double-crossing him when he didn't know Tommy was around. And he kept trying to double-cross. And then Costello's like, I didn't do nothing.
Hey, Mr. Nelson, I'd like to apologize. All right. For now on, we're in this together.
Oh, he was easy going, too, buddy. He's like, I'm sorry. I'd like to apologize. Okay. He just double-crossed me twice, but whatever.
I think Abbott didn't know who to align himself with. Was he more concerned with fucking the trouble they were going to get into with the guys? Or, who are they going to deal with? So he was like, well, I better play the safe route here. That's why he was acting that way, right?
He even said, I'd rather argue with Tommy than deal with Morgan and his men.
Right.
Yeah. So there is that tug of war right there, It's like a fucking weirdo, invisible guy who's up to his own shit, or am I going to be in trouble with the goddamn mob? It was crazy, and I love back to when you get the stealing drink scene. I like how, I think Costello, Tommy knocked some people out for when he was pouring the champagne in the boot, and he was going to drink it out of the girl's boot, and I don't know why she just hands him her slipper or whatever, or her high heels, and lets this guy do this, but he's pouring it onto a guy's head who doesn't react for the first 15 seconds. He gets up and he's going to punch the guy, and then he just gets knocked on his ass, so Abbott figures, oh, okay. And then he goes to do something, and he like smirks because he thinks Tommy will knock the guy out. The guy just knocks Abbott right on his ass.
Yeah, and how did she not know she was wearing an open toe shoe and that it's not going to hold champagne? I mean, you had to know that kind of thing. But yeah, and how did that ever become a thing? I mean, that was a thing.
I don't know. That's kind of
drinking
nasty.
champagne out of your girl's slipper. I asked Brian, I'm like, would you drink champagne out of my slipper? He's like, no fucking way. And I'm like, yeah. I don't
Jamie,
know
you
how
know what
that
I'm about to say, right? But I'm not going to say it. Butthole, do that. That's okay. I won't say nothing. So speaking of blood, with the blood that they spilled in the
first, not that.
You don't go face first.
No.
Oh my god. What about that joke when they're dividing the money that Morgan paid to take the dive? And this is really poignant because Costello goes, 1 for me, 1 for you, 1, 2, 3, 4 for you, 1 for me.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, wait, what is this for? He goes, that's the income tax, man.
That's the income tax.
Right.
You guys know that was the downfall of their lives.
Right.
They had a fucking screwy money manager, whatever you call those guys.
Everyone did back then. Jeez. I didn't know.
They lost their houses. They got all fucked up.
They lost everything. But let's put it this way. Abbott was begging for money at his death, and people didn't even give him any.
What a sad state of affairs, really.
They were the 2 highest paid actors in America, and this was during the time of the Depression. And they were the 2 highest paid guys, the richest guys in the world of actors. And then they're penniless by the end of their life because of that bullshit with the income. So how weird is that they did a tax joke?
Were they doing it intentionally? Was it a statement because that had already gone down, or is it weird just because that ended up happening to them?
I don't know. At this late in their career, it could have already gone down.
That's what I'd be thinking.
What year was this movie?
51?
I'm not sure. It might have been right around that time because they broke up for the first time, or it might have been 51. Hell, I don't know. They broke up for a time, and then they got back. And then they broke up finally again and amicably in 57, I think it was.
Yeah, the timing was gone. The magic wasn't there anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, but they had rough going in the 50s.
Oh yeah, it's bad in the 50s, man. So what do you guys think of the whole end battle scene? The whole thing in the dressing room and the Invisible Man and the steam comes out and the guy throws the knife at him.
No, that was very, very cool, actually. You know, the fact that the Invisible Man is jumping around the room, basically taunting the dude with the gun, telling him to shoot left and right. And then you got Costello flipping out because, he's going to hit me with this thing because he's standing in front of him, dancing around, into the steam, and then the steam flying up so you could see him, and then the knife in the chest. Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah. And that guy Morgan, that gangster, he's in a lot of shit.
Right. I can't picture what he's been in, but I know I've seen him.
Yeah, we'll look him up on IMDb and see his most famous stuff. He's in also a lot of other Abbott Costellos. He's in a lot of Twilight Zones, a lot of stuff.
I have a what the fuck moment though.
What?
The first time Tommy goes invisible, and Costello is standing there talking to him, and he notices because he goes to shake his hand, and then suddenly his hand isn't there, and he's grabbing at the thin air. I'm like, okay, just because you can't see him doesn't mean his hand isn't there. So that was but that's the only time that I can think of that they ever make that mistake in this film, because on other times he's completely solid because he's punching people,
right?
So he is clearly there, but that time his hand just goes away completely.
That's the only
not
one.
Right.
How about when fucking Costello ends up invisible after the blood transfusion and his legs are on backwards?
Oh no, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. And then I think it's hilarious. He goes running out totally naked.
Right, but how would that happen?
It wouldn't. He's like, oh, my legs are on backwards, and he does that weird backwards walk thing. It's goofy looking.
Like I do when I have blood on my knee.
Yeah, right. And you look like Mac and me.
You look like Mac and me.
And he's walking out backwards. Right?
Yeah, no, that makes no sense. It makes no sense at all because he would have gone invisible. His legs aren't going to be backwards. So that was retarded.
That's weird. They did a lot of weird shit for the end gag of every episode.
Well, I have a problem with this, unless I missed something. But the resolution, all of a sudden, when that situation with the steam and the knife and all that shit in the dressing room, all of a sudden the cops come in, or was it the cops?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they come in, and for no reason, I want to say it was Abbott. He just said, "These men killed O'Hara. Lock them up," and they just do it. Okay, where was the proof? They just locked them up. Right. You could have said that about any two assholes in that room. These are the real killers. Lock them up. Okay, is that what happened, or did I miss something?
No, that's what happened.
Okay, all right.
Makes you think of how many innocent people were put behind bars back then. They didn't. Oh, all right.
What the fuck? Right. Hey, this is something, Alex, you may know. If anyone else besides me is going to pick up on this, it's you. Who is the announcer when they're in the gymnasium. Remember when they're doing the thing with the speed bags and all that shit? That thing we were talking about before. Did you happen to recognize the guy that was doing the announcing?
I did, and I looked him up.
He's the guy from the fucking Rocky movies. I knew his voice right away. As soon as he said blah, 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 because there was someone in the ring named Rocky. And he said something else, Rocky, because of how they do in the Rocky flicks. From the fighting city of Philadelphia, Rocky Balboa, Apollo Creed. That announcer must have fucking done it for years, because I've seen those Rocky movies so many fucking times, like you, that as soon as I heard him doing the announce, I'm like, what the fuck? This is the same guy from Rocky.
Wow.
So 25 years later, he was doing the same fucking shtick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a great voice. It really made this movie authentic. He's like, watch this boy. I'm the one who discovered something, so watch this boy. That was funny shit, man. So yeah, this movie is just perfect. You know, they did bend reality for the end gag, but that happens sometimes. It's like, whatever. I mean, it makes zero sense whatsoever, but what the fuck are you going to do? You just kind of let things go sometimes, because who cares? One end gag is not going to change anything about this movie, so... yeah, well done, well executed, great physical comedy. Couple I don't even know how they did a blood transfusion on a guy that you can't see. How the fuck did you know where his veins were? Like, how could you even get the blood in the guy? I don't even understand, but whatever. Things like that really are not important. That's just, after the fact, being a Monday morning quarterback. So, how do you rate this movie, Jamie Jenkins?
This is another 4.5.
Yes.
Just because I have such an intense love for the Invisible Man. I think the effects were fantastic, and it was just, there were some really, really funny gags, really good stuff.
Yep, strong all the way through. Dave Z.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Love the physical comedy with the boxing and all that shit, and pretty easy to follow for the most part. I wasn't as intrigued with the plot as maybe with the whodunit, even though it got confusing, but overall very good, and this is 4 stars.
Cool. Ryan.
As far as me, I don't know. I loved pretty much everything about this movie. I was cracking up through the whole thing. I loved the Invisible Man, all the gags that go along with it. It was good. I didn't quite like it as much as, the Frankenstein one, so this is a 4.5, absolutely.
Wow. So if any of us say 5, what we're saying is that we love it as much as Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Well, no, I think you can just love it.
Yeah, you could just... Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, because, it's 5 for me. I love it. I think it's really well done. I saw it for more than what I ever saw it before this time around. I've really appreciated it. Had a great time. I think they just really wrote this well, really fit those two guys in this movie. Believe it or not, this was supposed to be a sequel, just another movie in the Invisible Man series. And they took the script and inserted Abbott Costello, and to think that they did that and yet still had such great comedic aspects and things like that is incredible. They deserve props for that. So this to me is a 5. So now to me this is like a peak. It was almost like you're at the top, you swing a little low, you go right back to the top, and now determines however you feel about this movie. The next movie coming up is, does it go really low and go up, or does it just do a little dip again? So we'll find out with Abbott and Costello meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde coming up right after this.